Om Vishnudraya Krishna Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Nirvishika Om Agana Karanasya Gyananjana Salakaya Tatsu Unduritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Satyam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Ramayam Dhamma Swamadanitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddha Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shra Shri Rupam Savarjakam Sadhana Raganatam Vijantam Sarivam Sarvaitam Sarvadutam Vrijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishakantitam Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinamado Gate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Mosute Tapta Kancha Gauraki Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudevi Pranamami Hri Priye Vanchakalpa Taruyasya Kripa Sindhubhyasya Patinanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, The Forest of Enjoyment, text number 40. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are many great saintly kings who were very expert in performing sacrificial rituals and very confident in conquering other kingdoms. Yet despite their power, they could not attain the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is because those great kings could not even conquer the false consciousness of I am this body and this is my property. Thus they simply created enmity with rival kings, fought with them and died without having discharged life's real mission. Purport. The real mission of life for the conditioned soul is to re-establish the forgotten relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in devotional service so that he may revive Krishna consciousness after giving up the body. One who doesn't have to give up his occupation, one doesn't have to give up his occupation as a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or whatever. In whatever position, while discharging his prescribed duty, one can develop Krishna consciousness, simply by associating with devotees who are representatives of Krishna and who can teach this science. Regretfully, the big politicians and leaders in the material world simply create enmity and are not interested in spiritual advancement. Material advancement may be very pleasing to an ordinary man, but ultimately he is defeated because he identifies himself with the material body and considers everything related to it be his property. This is ignorance. Actually, nothing belongs to him, not even the body. By one's karma, one gets into the body, and if he does not utilize his body to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all his activities are frustrated. The real purpose of life is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1-13. Atak pumbira dvijashesta vanashrama vibhagashaha Svanusitasi Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. It really doesn't matter what activity man engages in. If he can simply satisfy the Supreme Lord, his life is success. Translation again, there are many great saintly kings who are very expert in performing sacrificial rituals and very competent in conquering other kingdoms. Yet despite their power, they could not attain the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is because those great kings did not even conquer the false consciousness of I am this body, and this is my property. Thus they simply created enmity with rival kings, fought with them, and died without having discharged life's real mission. Om Vishnu Praya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prasharane Nirvishesha Shnivale Paskadyade Satarane. So there are different levels of philosophy. One is called Sambandha, the other is Abhideya, and the last is called Prayojana. So Sambandha means we should try to understand what is the basic philosophy, what is the foundational philosophy. Just like our foundational philosophy is that we're spiritual beings, now within a material body, and that there's a supreme spiritual being, and his original name is Krišna, and we have an eternal relationship with him, and that relationship can be revived by the process of devotional service. So that's called Sambandha. And then we have Abhideya. The process by which we can revive our relation with Krishna, called devotional service, is as follows. Chant Hare Krishna, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, worship the deities, associate with the devotees, live in a holy place. So that's called Abhideya. The process by which we can realize the philosophy. And then when we realize the philosophy, that's called Prayojana, or what the goal is. What is the goal of Krishna consciousness? What is the Prayojana? Yes. Krishna Prema Pama. That the ultimate goal is to attain Prema. So we're Krishna's servants, Krishna's God, we execute devotional service, and we're trying to attain Prema. Love for Krishna. Those who don't have that mission, those who are not even aware there's such a thing as a mission to obtain love of God, obviously they're not going to get very close to obtaining love of God. Instead, they're going to go off in some other path. Andaya Tandera Upagiyamanas Tepisha Tantra Urudami Vara. The Bhagavatam says that they're blind. Now, the Bhagavatam is quite heavy. It says all kinds of things that people will become very disturbed as they hear. So why does it say these people are blind? Does it mean that they need a walking stick? A lot of them have better vision than we have. So how can we say they're blind? They're blind because they don't understand they don't understand the Sambandha. They don't understand the difference between matter and spirit and the controller above, and therefore they're blind. And because they're blind, where they're going will not bring them to the actual goal, it'll bring them someplace else. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Pravritim cha nivritim cha, adharmam dharma itiya, manite tamasabritaha, sarvatam viparitam cha, buddhi partha, adharmam dharma itiya, manite tamasabritaha, sarvatam viparitam cha, buddhi sapartha tamasi. They think what you're supposed to do, they say you're not supposed to do that. And what you're not supposed to do, they say that's what you're supposed to do. And therefore they're always striving the wrong direction. P has probably put out a little booklet originally. Who's crazy? Because people, at least previously, I'm sure there's many people in Slovenia right now, they think the Hare Krishnas are crazy. After all, what kind of sane person would go on the street and sing? Only if they were intoxicated. Or they're crazy. And since they claim they don't take drugs, they must be crazy. What other classes of people do we find going out in the street and singing all day? Of course, there was one devotee, Kulavekar Sridhar. He was constantly chanting Hare Krishna, and his neighbors thought, because at night he would be chanting very loudly, and he would wake up his neighbors, who are all worshippers of Durga. Kulavekar Sridhar was a worshipper of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna. So he chanted loudly at night, but he was very, very poor. He was living in a hut. There wasn't any, he couldn't even afford to even repair the roof of the hut. Therefore, when it rained in. He was only selling bananas in Bengal. He had a small banana tree, and he sold bananas and banana leaves, banana flour, banana bark. Not a big multinational business in Bengal. He was only making a few paisa a day, and he was giving half of that to worship with the Ganges. Therefore, he was so poor that but his neighbors were worshiping Durga, and they had a lot of opulence. So they determined that actually Kulavekar Sridhar, at night he's screaming out of hunger pains, because he doesn't get enough to eat during the day. At night he can't sleep, and he screams out of hunger. They thought his chanting Hare Krishna was screaming out of hunger pains. So they could not understand that there could be another level of consciousness outside of material happiness. And if someone didn't have material happiness, they must be suffering in some way or another. So this is called viparita. What they think is actually reality. Krishna says, Ya nisha sarvabhutana tasyam jagati samyami yasyam janami bhutani sami sapasho jagato. That what is night for all sentient beings is the time of awakening to the self-control. And the time of awakening to the self-control is the night for all the sentient beings. Or as probably one time he was in New York, and he was having an interview with one reporter, and all the devotees, whatever Prabhupada said, the devotees were very enthusiastic, and they were going, Jai Prabhupada all the time. So the reporter was wondering why are these people so enthusiastic, and they're dressed so differently. So he asked Prabhupada, he said, why are your followers so different? And Prabhupada said, they have to be different, because they're spiritual and you're material. If we were exactly like you, then we'd be material. So there has to be some kind of difference. Similarly, people, they cannot understand that the purpose of life is to obtain Krishna. Therefore they think there's some other purpose. If we don't have the mission to obtain Krishna, we have to have some purpose. Everyone lives for a purpose. In the spiritual world, everyone lives to satisfy Krishna. So that may seem rather strange. But then again, we're spiritual beings in a body, and we're living to satisfy a dead body. So, would it be better to satisfy a living person rather than a dead body? Therefore, if we understand the basic philosophy that we're not the body, then what are we doing? Serving a dead body for? It's rather gruesome, isn't it? If you fell in love with a corpse, what would people think about it? he fell in love with the corpse, and day and night he's serving it, trying to get it to eat, always making its bed so it can sleep nicely, chanting songs to the corpse, taking pictures of it, posting them on Facebook. So this body is a dead body, it's a corpse. Of course, generally people wait till finally the soul leaves, and then they become more aware of the fact that it's a corpse, and then they cry over it. Oh, it's dead. But it was always dead. It's not that when we leave the body, it dies. It's already dead. Sorry. Don't cry, wait a second. Oh, my body's dead. Tell my mother my body's dead. It was always dead. Only because they were present in it. It appears to be alive. The car is dead, sorry to tell you. Your car is not alive. Nor is your teddy bear alive. Oh, this is really hard one. We're really hitting it deep into people's hearts. Your teddy bear is not alive. It's only because you move it, it appears to be alive. The puppet appears to be alive because there's a hand inside of it moving it. So this body appears to be alive only because we're present within it. Otherwise, it's dead. But if we serve a dead body, we could try to decorate it very nicely. But decorating a dead body is considered a waste of time, as it says here. In India, when you die, they actually take special care of you sometimes. They decorate you so that when they take you on the palanquin to burn your body, you go in style. And in the West, they even do it better. They put you in a nice new set of clothes and they paint a smile on you. And in some places in America, you can buy, before you leave your body, of course, you have to do it before you leave, you can buy a place in a cemetery where into the coffin they pipe music. And you can choose between any kind of music that you can hear perpetually. Rock music. After all, you're going to be sitting there for a long time, you might as well listen to something. Otherwise you get really bored sitting there not doing anything. So they pipe rock music or country western music into your coffin, and you can listen to it peacefully. No one's going to disturb you. Of course, I don't know if they have an option. Maybe if they had an option to listen to Prabhupada's lectures, that would be quite a good option. It would be hung around as a ghost. At least you get some spiritual benefit. That's something good to listen to. But people are decorating these bodies, and they're thinking they're making progress. During the lifetime, one of the biggest industries is the cosmetic industry. If you go to the department store, there's huge amounts of lipstick, and I don't know what else they have. They have all kinds of eyeliner, whatever else they have. And people are spending a fortune to make something that's dead appear alive. And when it gets older, the body begins to deteriorate. They become even more anxious. Then they have operations to lift the skin or whatever else. So you can look like you're younger. And then even after you're dead, they try to decorate it. So it's just a waste of time. But people don't know that because they don't know that they're spiritual souls, that they have a better engagement. Instead of serving the dead body, they can serve Krishna. And if they serve Krishna, they'll get in reciprocation bliss, knowledge, and eternity. Not a bad reciprocation. We just chant Hare Krishna lovingly, and Krishna, he reciprocates by giving us bliss and awareness, pure happiness, pure awareness forever. An intelligent human being, he makes a decision that let me get bliss, knowledge, and eternity by my little endeavor, by sacrificing the little energy I have in Krishna's service, and that's certainly a great reward. Otherwise, if I serve my false ego, which is the basic principle from avidya, because we're in avidya. Therefore, the first principle is served by false ego. I am this body, and when people like my body, I feel good. When they dislike my body, I feel bad. When my body is happy, I feel good. When my body is not so happy, I feel bad. It's all centered around the false ego, that I am the body. But the real ego, I am Krishna's servant. Whatever the state of the body is, it doesn't really matter. Let me just utilize it in Krishna's service, so that even at the time of leaving the body, I'll simply chant Hare Krishna. I may not be able to do anything else, but if I chant Hare Krishna, then the sacrifice is perfect. So one has to be trained up like that, to try to work while we are in this body, in this human form of life, try to work and cultivate real sambandha, real understanding, real abhideya, real activities in devotional service, and see if we're actually getting the prayojana. If we're developing awareness of Krishna, we're beginning to see everyone and everything as they're actually related to Krishna, and we're developing an awareness of how things that draw our mind from Krishna are not very favorable, and we're actually feeling some growing love for Krishna, some appreciation of Krishna, how nice he is, how great he is, how wonderful he is, how powerful he is, some appreciation of Krishna. So that's called love. And as it says here, you may become a great, powerful personality in this world, a great king, because there are not so many kings, but there are some kings. So most people are trying to just accumulate money, and with that money buy a big house, and that way become a king. Have the best of all material things, and that way think that one is progressing in material existence. But so many actually powerful kings ruling the whole world came and gone, but if they did develop love for Krishna, they just wasted their time. For all their endeavor, they were simply creating another material body, which was not necessarily very favorable, especially towards the development of Krishna consciousness. So one could be the most insignificant person, one could be the little squirrel in the pastime of Lord Ramachandra, and try to kick a few pebbles onto the bridge. And Lord Ramachandra will appreciate that service as much as he appreciated Hanuman's service. So we may not be Hanuman, we may not even be a squirrel. Whatever we are, we should try to do whatever service we can for the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that way Krishna will appreciate it, and will actually obtain the perfection of life. We'll be working as a soul, rather than on the dictation as a false ego. So I'll stop here. Thank you. Any questions, comments? Yes.
People who take up Krishna consciousness are very fortunate. And most of people are foolish, cannot understand this, cannot think. What is the trigger that can invoke Krishna consciousness in that?
Well, when people get a higher taste, that's why they become attracted to anything. So we chant very nicely, we give very nice prasadam. We learn how to distribute these books in a very nice way. We can attract people's minds and they'll take it up. Prabhupada said people take my books because they see the enthusiasm of the devotees. Everyone wants to be enthusiastic because no one goes anywhere without enthusiasm. Anyone who's selling anything in this world, whether it's themselves or a product, they do so on the basis of enthusiasm. So we become enthusiastic in our service for Krishna, then people will become attracted. Because Krishna also becomes attracted, and when Krishna is attracted by enthusiasm, and when Krishna is there, then we become more enthusiastic, and people will want to get that enthusiasm. Anything else? Yes.
Can I say something? When I heard this statement, I don't know where it comes from, that worshiping of Vishnu's devotees is higher than worshiping Vishnu. So how do we see that?
Well, it came from Lord Shiva, who was a good thought. He told Parvati, Prahladananda Sarveshu, Vishnu Radhanam Param, Tasmat Parataram Devi, Shidinam Samatra. That the best worship is to worship Vishnu. But even better than to worship Vishnu is to worship those things in relation to Vishnu. Because we worship Vishnu, Krishna, he's pleased. But he's just like Prabhupada said, if you love me, you love my dog. A very, very wealthy man, what can you give him? He owns so much. But if you pet his dog, he becomes pleased. Or if you give his son a 5-cent, 5-cent piece of candy, and the son is pleased, and the man becomes pleased. So similarly, if we try to love Krishna, that's nice, but if we love his devotees, then Krishna becomes especially pleased.